Hi there. It's me, Annalisa Boyd, Orthodox Christian wife, mom to 10, bread baker, candy maker, self-proclaimed doula, accidental midwife, and the author of The Ascetic Lives of Mothers Hear Me, Special Agents of Christ, and creator of saintsbox.com. Alright, I'm just going to do a quick one. I don't know. I'm about to go in a store to get some things for my mama. But I put the mask on and I'm like, hey, this is kind of where we are right now, so I'll do it with the mask. Anyway, I know it's Good Friday, it's Holy Friday, but I just wanted to mention a couple things as ideas as you are getting ready to celebrate Pascha at home, to do these last hours of kind of holy work before Pascha. If you have children, young or old, now is an important time for you guys for all of us to be able to feel or realize and understand that we are connected, not because we go to church, but because of who we serve and the fact that we are the church. So if we at this time are having to do church at home, we are still at church. If we are having to do church in the wilderness, in hiding, in anywhere, we are still at church because we are at the church. So we are missing out on some things like the Eucharist, which is really sad, but at the same time I think about the persecuted church, the Christians around the world who have never had access to what we have access to right now, with streaming services and all these things that are really wonderful for us to be able to do as a congregation. Anyway, so some of the things that we kind of miss at home that are present at church that we may or may not have thought of. I know a lot of people probably have thought of this already, but that, it's super interactive at church. We have the sights and the smells, all of our senses are engaged. But that is something that we can do at home. So if you have a censer at home and incense, use that. Use that at the beginning of each service to bring that aspect in. If you don't have a censer, a lot of people have done aromatherapy. And I would even recommend using, I can't think of what it's called right now, but the aromatherapy thing that you plug in and it I can't even think of what it's called, but you know, if you're an aromatherapy person, you know what that is. Anyway, and use some essential oils. My favorites for that would be frankincense and orange, because it really has that old church, wooden pew church smell to me. But if you have frankincense or myrrh or something floral, or there are a lot of different scents that could be appropriate for that. So then if you have candles or something that lights, that's another thing that you can do, light candles. And if you have sand or however, I'm not even going to say that part, but if you have the ability to light some candles so that during the services you're doing what you would do at church, giving your kids the opportunity to participate in that part, the things that they're used to. After liturgies, it may be beneficial to have make some bread or get some loaves of French bread or something like that, because we have the blessed bread after we receive the Eucharist. So having something that can still go into their mouths, into our mouths, also helps us to feel more connected. If you have bells in your home or anything that can be a kind of a happy noise maker for during the Paschal service, when we're saying Christ is risen, most churches, they ring bells and they do things like that. And so having something for our kids and ourselves, it's not just for our kids, but for ourselves, to be participants, can make it very positive as well. Oh, my arm. Okay, so those are just some things that I was thinking and have some quiet things for your kids to be able to do. I would highly recommend making it a non-screen time other than whatever you're viewing the service on. But we have to be careful that we don't get grumpy about them not paying attention, not being able to pay attention. It's hard enough when they're in church, let alone when they're at home doing church. It's just a different thing. So if there are quiet things, or if they're wiggling around and moving around, and the idea is that they are still hearing it, that they are still receiving it. So as long as they're not like running up and down the hall and screaming and all of that, if your teens are kind of laying down on the couch or sitting on the couch or, just nearby for some of the services, they're still getting it. I'm finding one of my sons who, honestly, this has happened so many times, I don't know why I'm surprised. But one of my guys, we went on a walk Sunday afternoon, and he has a really hard time being in the service because of some of his special needs. And he was humming, what was it? Rejoice, O unwedded bride. He's humming that. So he's getting it, even though he is barely in the service when we're at church. But he's still hearing it, and he's still absorbing it. And there's no anger around it, or, that you need to stand, and you need to do this and that. Right now, we have to kind of consider that all of our kids are special needs because we are in a very unique and special time. And there needs to be that, economia for what's going on right now. So anyway, those are just some ideas of things that they can be doing. Have coloring pages for the younger ones, or blocks or Legos, or invite them to set up their stuffed animals to participate in the service, and different things like that for our little ones. Let our big ones just be there, and because God's aware of everything. Now, if they are in the place where they can stand and participate more, great. If not, and they're present, great. So anyway, I've said anyway like 4 times, but anyway, the final anyway. Yeah. Glorify God in everything you do. Let us try to stay away from, being frustrated or having expectations that are not necessarily appropriate for right this moment. Let's encourage our kids, but let this time be solemn and joyful, and let us rejoice. All right. Let's keep on working out our salvation one mama moment at a time.